mathematicians. In this video we're going to continue learning about spreadsheets and particularly about graphs and charts in spreadsheets. So here we have a list of sales by day during this week. We want this title to be centered. To do that, we will have to merge these two cells. We can merge the cells by highlighting them and then clicking on these two arrows that go in together. You might have to press the three dots to see this. Now that we've merged them, we can center them by pressing Ctrl-Shift-E or by using the Center Align button. Now let's bold this and make it size 14 font. Let's add a background color to this to make it pop even more. To do that, you click on the cell, then click on Fill Color. And let's make this light green 1. Let's center align, Ctrl-Shift-E, and bold these headers. Now this represents sales, which is money, so let's format it as money, as currency, by clicking on this $sign. Now we're going to represent this data as a pie chart. To do that, click on the header on the left column, click on Insert, Chart, then you can click on Chart Type, and we're going to choose Pie Chart. Now let's customize it a little bit by pressing Customize. Let's start with the chart and axis titles. Let's change the title to Sales, Week of July 6 through 12. Let's change our font to wide and our color to black. And let's make it centered. Now I'm going to minimize this. In Chart Styles, let's change the background color to light gray. Now you can feel free to play with the different settings. Do you want a donut hole in it? Do you want the slice to be labeled? And if so, how? With percentage? What size do you want it? The smaller the size, the more you can fit. What font do you want it? What color do you want that font? You can also change things about each pie slice, each color from that. You can change the legend, and you can decide where you want the position of the legend. Do you want it labeled? This is what we have now. Do you want it on the right? On the left? You can choose whichever you want. I'm going to choose right. And that's it. So now we have our pie chart. However, you can see that it's covering the data here. Let's move this into its own sheet. So if I press here on the three dots, and I can click Move to Own Sheet. What it does is it creates a separate sheet down here at the bottom, so you can go back and forth between the data and the chart. Instead of having this be called Sheet 1, let's rename it so it makes sense. Let's call it Sales by Day. And let's rename this one to Sales by Day dash Pie. To create a new sheet, you press on this plus button at the bottom corner. Now you have a new sheet here. In this sheet, we're going to have our data organized from highest to lowest price. So let's call it highest to lowest sales. So let's copy our data. So highlight all of the cells in A, B from 1 to 10. Control C. Go to your new sheet. Control V. Now you have this data. We want to organize this data by sales from highest to lowest. So highlight the data, then click Data, Sort Range, and we want it highest to lowest, so that's Z to A. We have a header row, that means we have titles, and we want to sort it not by day, but by sales. And press Sort. Now you can see that we go from highest price to lowest price. Next, we're going to create a bar graph, or a spreadsheet calls it a column chart. To do that, again, click on cell A3, Insert, Chart, and in this time, we're going to choose a column chart. And you can see it's made up of columns for each day and the price. Let's customize this. Let's change our chart title to highest to lowest sales. Let's make this font Tahoma, and you can choose whatever color you want and make it centered. And now I'm going to minimize this one, and let's make our chart style. Let's make our background color light blue 3. Now let's minimize that, and you might have a legend. You might have one, for example, at the top or at the side. This is helpful if you have different columns of data that you want to show on the same graph. But here, all of these bars represent sales. So we don't need that, so let's say none. Now let's look at our horizontal axis. And let's make our slant labels to 60 degrees. See how that made our names go from being kind of squished here to being a little bit more elegant on a diagonal. Next, in series, let's change the color to dark red 3. So we've now finished our chart. Oops, I forgot to bold this. So I can also click on it and it takes me there and make it bold. So now, again, it's covering my data, so let's put it in its own page. 3 dots, move to own sheet. And let's retitle this by double clicking and call it highest to lowest sales column. Press enter. So now we have 4 different sheets. Let's actually print it out now. Print. And we don't want to just print this one. We're going to print the workbook. That means each of the 4 pages that we created. So just double check. Make sure everything looks nice to you. In this case, for these charts, landscape actually looks a little bit better. So make it landscape. And make sure we don't have any of our grid lines. And now we can press next, which is right under me. I'm going to choose to save as PDF and save. Make sure it has your name in it. Now you can upload that to our assignment and you're done. Have a great day.